My massive breakdown taught me a lot about myself, not only what self-destructive habits I've adopted, but also how I needed to change my mindset in order to be more truthful to myself. Despite all my efforts and my passion for my project, I received the lowest grade possible that just let me barely pass the semester. That was a shock because I felt like a failure. And that's exactly what this episode today is about, failure. I believe we've all gone through moments where we perceive as if we failed, and society has conditioned us to celebrate successes and avoid failures. But what if failure is actually a blessing in disguise and a beautiful lesson? What if we ourselves decide what success and failure is? Isn't that liberating? I've encountered failures numerous times before, and I would love to finally open up about it to you. The truth about getting the lowest grade possible that just let me barely pass my semester was not only did I feel like a failure, but I started to question my whole study choice. Was I good enough as an architect? Did I make the right choice with my studies? Am I better off somewhere else? Deep in my heart, I felt that architecture was my home, but that setback just overshadowed everything that I believed to be true. I lost touch with that deeper truth in me and let my ego rule with its nagging self-doubt and shame. I'm sure many of you have encountered various experiences of failure before. Were you able to see them as a blessing in disguise and learn from them, or did they make you question your entire beliefs and passions and even question yourself? Either way, if you feel there's still a bit resentment in the back of your mind, maybe this is a good moment for you to shine a light on what I perceive to be the truth. If we look up the definition of failure per se, it says, failure is the state or condition of not meeting a desirable or intended objective and is usually viewed to be the opposite of success. So that implies that failure and success are on the same spectrum. Without failure, no success, and vice versa. It's like two sides of the same coin, like a yin and yang. We are so conditioned by society to avoid failure at all costs, as if it was something bad. But who actually decides what is good and what is bad? We as architects work in the creative industry, and in order to create, challenge the status quo and be bold, we must be willing to take risks, which means we must be willing to fail, as the result of any creative undertaking is always uncertain. The moment we try to please our ego and play it safe is the exact moment we narrow ourselves down to a very conservative way of thinking. And isn't that the exact opposite of creativity, exploration, boldness, and fun? If you've been struggling to launch your startup, or if you've been rejected numerous times about publishing that article or that book, or you just can't seem to land a job, I would like you now to take your heart into both hands and hold on tight what seems meaningful and truthful to you, because we're going on a small journey together. Imagine yourself floating down a stream of blue water that eventually runs into the vastness of an ocean. That's where you want to go. That's where your home is. It's love, freedom, abundance, and fulfillment. But right now you're still floating down that river, holding on very tight to what seems truthful to you in your heart. And as you float along, you encounter various rocks of different sizes, and you bump against them, you bruise yourself, and you lose touch of your heart, so you go diving for it, trying to keep your head above water. Eventually, you get hold of your heart again and continue to float, until you bump against a rock that is even bigger. But this time you've learned that as you bruise yourself and hurt yourself, you hold on very tightly to your heart and you float along. And with time you get incredibly adept at navigating around all upcoming rocks with increased beauty, grace, and wisdom. This is my little analogy for dealing with failure that I keep very close to my heart. If you always remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing and always hold on to your truth, you're very well equipped to navigate around any upcoming rocks because you've built this inner strength, resilience, and flexibility to pick up your heart every single time. I promise you, eventually you will smell freedom and feel the ocean breeze coming your way. The question to you is, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Or even better, what would you still do even if you knew that you would fail? Be proud of your failures and mistakes. Open up about them and carry them with grace. And remember that your heart doesn't know failure at all. It is always pure. Thank you folks for watching. We're coming to an end again. I really enjoyed filming this episode as it was a very personal matter to me and it really feels good to get it off my chest. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, Twitter, and most importantly on Instagram, where I share thought-provoking content every single day. My name is Ines Hemmings and I created this series in order to empower you to seek and share your truth. See you next time.